What movie was so funny you laughed out loud in the theater? Django Unchained, when the bag/mask scene was happening. It came out of nowhere and the entire theater was rolling. I can't see shit out of this thing. I think we can all agree the bag was a nice idea, but not pointing any fingers, they could have been done better. Still cracks me up. My wife gathered 30 bags for you ungrateful sons of bitches. The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. I couldn't stop laughing at this movie. I'm a person who doesn't have uncontrollable laughter very often, but this was one of the times. Such a classic. I still watch it at least once every year, and it never gets old. The scene where he forgets to take off his mic before going to the bathroom had me in tears the first time I saw it. Galaxy Quest. By Grabthar's Hammer, what a savings. Let's get out of here before one of those things kills Guy. Opening night for the South Park Bigger Longer Uncut. I vividly remember looking around the packed theater and collectively losing our minds with laughter when they started singing Uncle Fucker. The only time in my life that I have seen an entire packed audience all crying with laughter. Absolutely hilarious, good choice. I was 12 when Austin Powers came out and my dad took me. Talk about the sweet spot. My humor perfectly aligned with that movie's humor at that age. I remember laughing like a mad person. When I first saw the Goldmember scene with the doctor's screen and it looks like he's giving birth. I cried so hard and it perfectly hit my humor age 12. Yeah, those movies utilized angle and perspective-based humor excellently. I think the scene that young me lost it to the most was when they were backlit in the tent in the second movie, and what it looked like from the soldiers' perspectives. Wayne's World. It still gets a few chuckles, but the first time I saw it in the theater I thought it was great. The guy next to us had his head in his lap laughing so hard at Wayne prancing around in his underwear. Camera 1/camera 2 scene. Edit. Wow, so many quotes I forgot about. Thanks for the laughs guys. And thanks for the silver. I love the scene when Wayne and Garth are on the hood of his car under the plane's landing and Garth asks Wayne if he ever thought Bugs Bunny was attractive when he dressed like a girl bunny. Wayne's laugh seems so genuine to me in that scene. What We Do in the Shadows. Just leave me to do my dark bidding on the internet. What are you bidding on? I'm bidding on a table. We can look at her photos. We can poke her, yes. Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Brave Sir Robin. He was not in the least bit scared to be mashed into a pulp, or to have his eyes gouged and his elbows broken, to have his kneecaps split and his body burned away and his limbs all backed and mangled. Brave Sir Robin. Not in the cinema, but Rat Race. I have to pause it to catch my breath cause I am laughing so hard. This has happened a few times. The scene with John Lovitz in Hitler's car was hysterical. I was laughing so hard I had tears in my eyes. Never laughed like that at the theater since. Of course, it was probably because I was 12 at the time, but still. The lipstick mark above his lip, the cigarette lighter in his throat so he can't talk properly, crashing Hitler's car into a Vertons Association meeting and getting up making a Hitleresque rant on stage. Fuck, I lost it so hard. I lost my shit as soon as I saw directed by the guy that killed John Wick's dog in the opening credits of Deadpool 2. As his final wish he asks Colossus to swear and say fuck and then goes wow swamp mouth enjoy hell. The shirt dicking scene, fourth wall breaking, calling Cable Thanos. Loved this movie. Hey there, big guy. The sun's getting real low. I lost my shit. Before the jokes were told so often everyone got sick of it, Borat was regarded as a genuinely funny movie. I've never seen a theater explode in laughter as many times in one movie, and I was one of the people laughing. The naked dildo fight was warped and hilarious. I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. Anchorman. 60% of the time, it works every time. I saw a tweet recently that said before memes, we just had guys sitting in circles loudly quoting Anchorman at each other. I agree and definitely can relate to that. I remember going to see the movie for the second time a few weeks after it had been out. Me and a bud got super high and laughed non-stop during the whole movie. There were like 3 other random people in the theater. Anchorman is my generation's Caddyshack. The first Zombieland. When Bill Murray apologizes for Garfield, I laughed out loud and no one else in the theater laughed. The Lego Movie. I went with friends, was kinda indifferent about seeing it and had low expectations, but ended up in tears from laughing so hard. Didn't see the Lego Movie in theaters, but I did see Lego Batman, and it was hysterical. I'm so glad my friend and I had the place to ourselves. Heard good things about that movie from friends when it came out, so checked it out on Netflix and my god, it's a great movie, and this coming from a big Nolan Batman fan. This Lego version is perfect. I remember seeing Meet Joe Black and the main character played by Brad Pitt gets annihilated by a truck in the first couple minutes. I was there because it was my girlfriend turn to pick and I wasn't really into it. The whole audience gasped when he died, and for some reason it tickled me to watch him get ping-ponged by traffic. I gave a super long belly laugh all by my lonesome. The Hangover. I saw it opening day with my dad and had zero expectations. One of the few times I can remember crying laughing. Also the end credits when they find the lost camera was a little awkward since I was 13 at the time, ha 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 ha. Literally came to say The Hangover because I had no expectations. I really didn't even know what it entailed, hadn't seen previews or anything. Cabin in the Woods and Hot Fuzz. Saw Cabin a few days after it came out and the theater was nearly empty except for my group of like 8 people, and then 3 couples. Movie starts and about 10 minutes in most of the couples have left. And then when it starts getting to the second act, we cannot stop laughing. Hot Fuzz we saw opening night and laughed the entire movie. Almost feel on the floor. Thor Ragnarok, just, everything in that movie was comedy gold. Just the part when Loki sees Hulk for the first time. Edit, my first gold, thanks stranger. There was one time when we were children, he transformed himself into a snake, and he knows that I love snakes. So, I went to pick up the snake to admire it and he transformed back into himself and he was like, yeah, it's me. And then he stabbed me. We were 8 at the time. The Simpsons movie. Everyone in that theater was dying moment to moment, and when the spider pig joke happened, I can safely say it's the only time I've been at the movies when the entire audience has started singing simultaneously. This is the worst day of my life. This is the worst day of your life so far. Saw it opening night and the skateboarding scene where they actually show Bart's penis had the theater laugh for a long time. The Room by Tommy Wiseau. I saw it for the first time in the University of Wisconsin-Madison Union Theater and it was spectacular. I don't think I would have laughed out loud if I had watched it alone, but watching it with a bunch of college students throwing spoons in the air and getting into pillow fights and going oh hi Mark and reacting dramatically to every line, it was the best movie experience ever. Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Me and my friends went to watch some other movie but were not able to get the tickets. We chose this instead and didn't know anything about it. This particular thing made it even more funny. We were laughing like a madman. I remember looking at each other with hands on our stomach and red faces. Not me, but my mom. When Ferris Bueller's Day Off came out in theaters, she had a friend who told her that she would be dying since she would get all of it. So my mom decided to go see the movie, and she was right. From what my mom has told me, she couldn't stop laughing. It makes it funnier because she was the only one laughing in the whole theater and everyone was trying to get her to shut up. Wolf of Wall Street. It's not a universally funny movie, but good God, the whole place where I watched just kept bursting into laughter. I went to the theaters on my own, but you could tell everyone there was on the same page when they were watching. And the Quaaludes scene? Forget about it. Probably the hardest and longest I ever laughed in the movies, and I'm sure everyone else there would say so too. For me it's when he thinks he drove home just fine, but actually fucked his Lambo all up, that killed me. Yes. The Quaaludes scene. I've never laughed so hard in a movie in my life. Absolutely brilliant. When Titanic first came out, I fell asleep and woke up at this part. The scene from Titanic when the boat is ass-end in the air and people are dying. A guy falls off the edge and hits the propeller, it makes the boing sound, and he tumbles over and over top his death. My girlfriend at the time was hitting me to stop laughing but I couldn't, I was literally crying, I was laughing so hard. What made it better? The guy behind me starts laughing, then a few more, and then more. Basically the dude started laughing which made it funnier. Girlfriend was not happy that night because I embarrassed her. Not a fan of the movie, but that part gets me every time. Edit this part. I want them to make a sequel where that guy is the main character. It follows him through his time on the boat. Then, that scene happens and it just cuts to credits after the boing.